welcome back to Dalren Models. So as you can possibly tell from what's on the bench, this video is going to be building the exhaust for the R1M. So I'm going to start off building it as per the instructions, although my plan is to modify it as I go along. So I'm going to start off with the larger parts. So anyone that's familiar with this bike will know that it's got this big ugly catalytic converter underneath, which is not particularly nice to look at. So as I go through, I'll show you hopefully what my plan to do with it is. So for now I'm just going to glue these bits together. The only reason I swapped there was this one's easier to hold. I've got this bit as well, which fits inside of there, like that. So I'm not going to put any glue on that piece in a minute. Just going to concentrate on the actual main silencer parts. And that piece will hold itself in. So once those are dry, I shall fill them in, tidy them up and everything else. So the other bits to do is the actual downpipes. So I get these glued together. So with this one. I'm just making sure that that end stays round, and then that, once it's done, that one will go in there. And that one will go in there. And then that piece looks like it fits on there like that. So that's how the exhaust assembly is going to be. But as I said, I've got some plans to modify this a bit. So I'll leave that to dry, and then we'll come back when I'm ready for the next bit. Okay, so I've been doing a bit of progress on this. So as I showed you before, I'd put this together. I've attached that as well, just so I can line it up. So I've started fabricating a new underpart for it to replace those pipes. So as you can see there, it's lined up with this part here, and then I've still got the rest of it to do to go up there. I've also been working on the tip part, so I've got some styrene square tubing which I've glued together, and then just started packing it out with some styrene, so hopefully I can replace the tip for that. So it's roughly the same sort of size, so I can shape that to match the rest of it, and well, that's my plan anyway for now. So that's where I'm currently at. I've still got a lot more work to do on that. As you can see, there's gaps to be filled and lots lots of work to be done. So if you're wondering what I've used, it's just an old fork set from an old kit that I'd replaced the forks on. So because I haven't got any styrene tubing of the right diameter for that, so I'm just working with what I've got. So that's where I'm currently at. I'm going to carry on working on this and then I'll come back in a bit, but I just thought I'd give you a quick update as to where it's at the moment, and hopefully it gives you a bit of an idea as to how I'm approaching it. So all I've done on this is I've just cut slats in it and then just sort of twisted it like that to bend it to the shape that I want. So I'm just going around doing all of that. Like I said, I've got more to do. I've got to get it up here. So I've got some more parts to do to that. And like I said, and then I've got the tip to do. So I'm going to carry on for a bit and I'll come back when I've got a bit more to show you. Okay, here's a bit of a quick update on this. So there's my link pipe as it currently stands. So I've got the cross piece there, and then I've got the upright part there. So as it lines up, if I go the right way around, when you look at that against there where I'm going to be positioning, and then where that runs up to where the silencer is at the top, so this whole section here is going to get replaced with that. I've also been working on this a bit more, so I've filled it, as you can see there, with some round rod, styrene rod that I had, and then just filled in between that with some super glue, and then I started shaping it. So this piece is going to replace that end cap there to suit more what I want it to look like. So that's what I'm currently working on. So I've got obviously a lot more work to go on this, shaping that. A bit more work to do on that. Obviously it's very rough at the moment still, so there's a lot of tidying up to do on that and filling, sanding, all the rest of it. So more work to go. So I shall show you when I've got a bit more progress. Okay, so I've been taking this down a bit more, so you can see that I've got the pretty much the shape there now, and I've put a hole in it ready for my aluminium tube to go in. So I've cut that at the right angle as well, so that it sits in there like that nicely. So that's gonna, if I can get it on camera, shot, that's going to be the actual exhaust. So my next job is to take down the inside of that. For that I'm using this this tool. I'm just carefully just going to work around like that, just to get the shape that I want. So that's going to take a while, so I'm not going to do all of this on camera. I'm just showing you the task that I'm now going to do. So I'm going to carry on with that off camera and then I'll show you where I'm at. Okay, I kind of got that where I want it for now. So as you can see, it's got a concave shape to it now. So when I fit the centre rod in, it's going to sit proud like that. So that's how I want it to be. So I'm not going to do any more on that. What I need to do is cut that off, fit that in place, and then finish shaping that while it's attached to that. So I've still got the cleanup to do on this part as well. So the glue's still a bit soft on that, so I'm going to let that cure a bit more. I'll fill all the gaps with super glue, and then once that's all dry, then I'll get all that sanded up, and then I'll come back. Okay, so that's pretty much where I left it last time. I've just shaped it a little bit more. So the next step is to cut this end piece off so that I can attach that and give it its final shape. So I want the rear silencer a bit shorter than it is on the kit. So rather than cutting it there, I'm going to go down there a little bit. So for that, what I'm going to do is get some 6mm tape, which I've not opened yet. So that will give me about the right thickness that I want to cut it. So I'm just going to rip a bit of that off. And just position it around that end piece there. I'm just going to wrap it around a couple of times, and then that'll give the saw a line to follow. So I'm just going to take these pieces off the end as well. So it's just pushed in. So once that's on there, you can see how much shorter it's going to be. So I've got just throw a saw in there, so I'm going to carefully follow the line around that tape. Just put my thumb the other side of it as well, just to stop it slipping onto the bit that I'm going to keep. Keep working around it. I think there's much left to go through now. There we go. So now you can see how that's going to fit there. So I'm just going to butt up against there, and then I can give that the final shape. So I'll get that glued on, and then once the glue's cured, I'll show you the next step. Okay, so I've got this end piece attached and sorted out now. So I've just gone around it with the files, shaping it to match the original piece, so I'm happy with that. I've also finished off tidying up the inside for now. So the next bit on that is to give it a coat of primer, and then I can see any flaws that are in it, because inevitably there's always things that need touching up and sorting out, which the paint will show up on that. So the next bit to do is to cut this centre section out. So same process again. I'm going to use my saw. I'm going to put a cut across here and a cut across there on both of these two parts. So once I've done that, I can remove that centre part with the catalytic converter, and then I can replace that with this. So that's where this part's at now. So again, most of it's filled and sanded, waiting for a primer coat to pick out any rough areas that need sorting out. So that's what I'm going to do next. The process is going to be the same as doing this top part, so I'm not going to show you that, cutting it out and everything on camera. What I will do probably is put some pins in the end of these. So get a bit of wire. You can see there's a hole there already. So you just get a bit of wire like this and just sit like that, drill a hole the other side, just to give it a bit of attachment, stronger attachment point, to hold it in place. So that's what I'm doing next. So when I've got some progress on that, I'll come back and show you. Okay, so this is where I'm currently at with it. I've just moved that back a bit. You'll notice I've removed the post from here so that I've got access. So I've removed the centre section, which is this piece here, as I said I would. I've got it glued at the back here, got it glued to the front one there, and the last bit I did was glue the other side on. So I should be in a position now where I can remove this and you can see where I'm at. So it's not particularly neat. As you can see there, I've got quite a bit of work to do because it's not straight. So I'm going to sort that out, straighten that up, and then come back. So I just wanted to show you that's the progress I've made so far. So there's still a lot of work to go on that part. It doesn't actually look straight there, but it's been fitted like that as I've been going through, on the basis of having the header parts up there. Let's get them in where they go, and then having that part fitted there. So I've done everything, assembling it and attaching it actually on the jig, so that I know it's the right size and know that it lines up. So that's why it looks like it does. So like I said, I'll go and finish that off camera and show you my progress. Okay, to start tidying that up, I've got some 2-part epoxy which I've put together and then just wrapped it around that end. So as you can see there, it's looking more like it should do there. And then once it's all cured, I'll sand it down on this side so that it's all level, and then I can move forward with that. I've put a bit in that gap as well there, just to add a bit of strength. So I've still left these there unglued, so I can remove those later down the line if I need to. But for now, while I'm getting all this shaped and assembled, I'm leaving those attached so that it stays lined up where it needs to be. So I just thought I'd show you that quickly. So I'm going to leave that to cure for a while now, and then I'll probably show you after I've sanded it and started shaping it. So okay, so this is where I'm currently at with it now. So as you can see, that's all sort of sanded back now and smooth. It's not perfectly straight, but for this application I think it's fine, I can live with that. So I've also put this strap around the back, which I've just used some very thin styrene for and cut it to shape, just to give it a little bit more character at the back. And the next thing I've started is to put some thin straps around, although I've only done one for now, for the to represent the weld lines. So that's what I'm working on now, is I'm going around doing all of those. So I've got quite a few to do, so I'll show you when I've got all of those attached. So as I'm going around doing these straps, I thought some of you might be interested to see how I do this. So I've just got some strip of styrene, as I said before. So I just tack it down at the end, and then I'm just carefully wrapping that around the pipe so that it lines up with the other one, at the other end. And then once I've got it in position, I'm just very carefully just cutting that so it's in line with the other end, and then I'm just getting a little bit of extra thin cement just on the tip, and then I can wrap that round and just touch out to that. So I have found there's a couple of times I've got put a little bit more glue on. It doesn't always bite the first time. Let's put it around a bit more. You see why I'm not doing all of this on camera anyway, because it's quite fiddly. Some of them go easier than others. There we go. That's the next one in place. Okay, just to finish off these pipes, I'm just going around them all, trying to add the illusion of an actual weld seam. So what I'm doing is getting some extra thin, and then just applying it to the strips there very carefully. And then I've got a bit of wire that I've got some hollow tube that I've just shaped at an angle a bit. I'm just very carefully going around and just pushing against it, and because it's got the glue over the top of it, it's just putting an indent in there. So I don't know whether it's actually showing up on camera, but it gives, maybe see it a little bit, it's just giving it a bit of a shape to it, so it's not just flat styrene. So that's what I'm doing now. So I've got all of these that I've got to go around. As you can see, if it's focusing, I've done quite a few of them now. So I'm just going around doing all of those, and then most of it should be done then. Okay, I'm ready to start putting some paint down now. So I've got all of these lines done that I was talking about. So if it picks it up on camera, hopefully you can see it. It's got this bit of a texture to it, and I've gone around all of them. So hopefully you can see that and see what I've done there. So now's the time of truth to see what the joints and everything look like, and the tip end as well, where I've been shaping it. So I've loaded up the airbrush as usual with Zero Paint's grey filler primer, so I'm ready to start painting. So let's move those out of the way for a minute. So as always, just check the paint flow. I'm not going to go too heavy with this coat to start, just to give me an idea of the main areas that need extra work. Knock that off for a minute, so we'll see where we're at. So there's a little bit of tidying up work to do. So as you can see on the pipe there, there's a seam line there, and a bit of work over the top there, and then on the tip as well, if it focuses in. That's quite rough looking as well, so it needs a lot of work on that to shape it and everything. So I'm going to carry on primer, sanding, smoothing, primer, sanding, smoothing, all the rest of it. Keep going over that until I'm happy with it. So I will show you when I'm at the next stage, when I've got something more to show you. Okay, so this is where I'm currently at now. So if you can see in there, that's all smoothed off now, ready to go. And I've got all the pipes cleaned up and everything, so I'm ready for the next step. So for that, I'm going to use titanium silver. So it's already loaded up in my airbrush, so turn the extractor fan on and I'll start spraying. So set the flow. With these sort of paints being quite thin, any flaws underneath will show through, so you need to ensure that the side looks properly before I start to paint. So that's the first coat of that on. So that's where I'm at with it. So I'll show you the weathering stages as well as I do the heat staining and all that. So I'll carry on doing these bits and then I'll show you when I'm ready for the next bit. Okay, onto the heat staining. The first thing I've done is gone around the weld seams with pale burnt metal from Alclad. So the next step is to mask them off. So if you just remove that a second. So just very carefully with masking tape, I'm just going to go round and put that on there and wrap it round where it needs to be. So I'm not going to bore you with that on camera, so I'll go off, do all of that and then come back. Okay, so that's all masked off now. So the next step is to do the shadow parts of it. So I'm going to use burnt iron for this, again one of the Alclad paints. So airbrush is loaded up, ready to go. So if I turn the fan on, I will start spraying. So just check the flow's coming out. So I want it to come out as a nice fine line, and then very carefully bring it up to camera so you can go over the masking tape area. To create shadow. So I'm going to go around all of the seam lines doing that. So before I do the similar thing on the tops of these, so you can go a bit wider with this. This doesn't matter quite so much. So just give it that sort of burnt effect on the top, and then you can do a bit of heat staining down here by that join as well, which I'll carry on doing on the other pipes as well. So that's what I'm up to now, so I'll show you when I'm finished. Okay, so this is it all painted up now. So it's not perfectly neat compared to what it could have been, but it is what it is. So I did try filming the sort of gold paint colour going down, but for some reason the sound picked up the noise from the compressor too much, and not my voice, you couldn't hear anything that I was saying, so I'm not going to be showing that. So I'm just taking As you can see, the masking tape off now. So just find where you get the ends. If you can't, you can make your own end. So, hopefully you can start to see the effect from this now. That's the first part of it done. You can see. So I'll carry on unmasking that. So with these, after I painted that top part like I showed you, I did the inside of the bends with it on both sides very lightly, and I went on the outside of the bends with the pale burnt iron, and obviously did down there as well like I said. So it doesn't really show up on camera, but it's enough that it gives it a bit of a highlight and a bit of colour break on it. So I'm going to carry on unmasking all of that, and then I'll be able to put it together. Right, so I'm ready to start putting it all together now. So that's the tip that I showed you before that I've cut off the tube. So that should be about the right length now, so just slide that in. There you go. So then I've just got that tip on the end. That's what I want. So before I attach that, I've got some hoses and things to attach. So while I've been working on that, I've been working along with the radiator as well. So I've cut the ends off these and put some metal tube on there for the hoses, and I've got the same on the other end of those ready to go. I've also had to go at making some radiator covers that you see sometimes on bikes. So I've got one for the bottom, one for the top. I'm still undecided on that. I think I'm going to use it just to do something different, but as to whether I like it or not, I'm not totally convinced. So interested to see what you think to that. So I'll put those to the side for a minute. I've got to attach the fans as well to the back of those. So the first thing I'm going to do is just get these hoses attached, just so that they're in the right place. So I've got this one to go first. It's that one to go first. The instructions say to paint that pipe semi-gloss black, but if you look at a real bike, it's not semi-gloss black at all. It's aluminium, or dull aluminium. So I'm going to move the camera back a bit, so just bear with me a second. Makes it a little bit easier for you to see what's going on and allows me to manoeuvre that. So I'll just move those out of the way a little bit. So I've got two mounting points for this. One goes in there, and the other one goes down there. Not sure that's actually focusing down there. So that way around. So once you position one, and then the other one lines up where it should be. So that's where that goes. And then hopefully that lines up with the radiator when I attach the radiator. I'll put some hose clamps on that as well while I was getting that part ready. So, right, now to attach these two. So the first one goes in there. So I want the tweezers for that. Almost going there like that. Which I've drilled the hole out for already. And this one wants to go on the other side. So again, just a little bit glue on the end. And then that goes down there. Into that hole there. And that hose comes out. Doesn't go into the exhaust. So just want to get those out of the way because otherwise they get in the way of the exhaust. So that's this bit next. So we know this fits okay because I've done plenty of test fitting as I've gone along. So I'll just put a bit of glue in each of these. And get that position where it wants to be in there. And then on the pin at the back, put a little bit of glue. So, as you can see, I put a couple of washes on the exhaust as well. So that's that bit done as well. So I will go in, sort the radiator out, attach all the hoses up, and then see where I'm at. Okay, so that's the fans attached to the radiator now. So that mounts on there. There's two clips at the top there, and then a locator point at the bottom. But because I put these pipes on the side, it's just catching a bit, so I need to adjust that before I glue it on. So I'll do that after the video is finished, and then I've got this pipe to attach, which is ready with the hose clamps. So one last thing I was going to show you was the rear brake reservoir, which is all built up and assembled. So that just mounts at the back. So the kit says to use screws for it, but as you can see, I've eliminated the need for those. So that just pushes down on there, carefully like that, and then I'm just going to get some glue. And I want a tiny bit in that hole there. And then I can attach it. He says. So that goes in there, and it's got a notch on the back of it as well, so it'll only go one way. So that's that reservoir done. I've also painted it up and put a hole in the top of it to make it look more like a metal bracket rather than a big lump of plastic. So there we go. So that's where I'm going to leave this video. So I'll get some pictures up on my web page, on my Facebook page soon, once I've finished off those other bits. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Okay, so as I said, that's the hoses and everything on now. So, and I've got the fans attached to the backs of the radiator. So I'm not going to glue this in just yet, because like I said, I'm still debating on what to do with the radiator covers. But that basically slots in at the top there, and then you've got this location pin at the bottom that just sits on there. Because I put these bars on, it's just touching a little bit and pushing it slightly, so just need to adjust that. But that's where it's at. So there's the exhaust and the radiator as it stands. So that's where I'm going to leave this video. So just bring it in so you can see it. So yeah, thank you for watching. I'll show you the next bit. Okay, I know I said that that was going to be the end of it, but I thought I'd just show you as I finished it off now. So I've attached those onto the radiator, put the hose on there, and the little hose at the top there, and then same on this side with that hose there. So that's this step done now. So next assembly will be the front forks and front wheel. So I need to do the airbox at the top, but that's only a couple of pieces, so I don't need to show you that on the video. So yeah, I just thought I'd actually complete this video showing you the final thing. So there you go. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time.